Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Uh, consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. And if you like the way that any of the information is being presented, hit the like button, leave a comment, share the video. To help with building a community. Do something or don't. It costs you nothing to pay me no mind. I'm probably going to go and do something more in depth on my podcast that can be found on Spotify and Google Podcasts. It's called It's Always Personal. I think this movie deserves a bit of a deeper dive, and there's a lot of other things here that I would love to dive into, but I don't want to get too preachy. But I thought it was very important that I talk about Sylvie's Love. It's a new movie that's available on Amazon Prime. It started being available to be streamed December 23rd. And, it was produced by a very important dude, a very important brother from a number of perspectives. But I want to try to keep this short. I know I'm going to run longer than what I want to, but I really hope that you check the movie out. I'm going to say it off rip. All the hard rocks out there, all the I'm a real ninja, all the, this movie is definitely not for everybody. It's a very down-to-earth movie. It's no killing. It's no drugs. It's musicians. Well, it might be, maybe. But it's not all clean neither. And I'll get into some of that in a second. But I enjoyed the movie. And I enjoyed watching the movie with my wife. I enjoyed seeing some things that I go through or I've went through on the screen. I enjoyed seeing black actors and actresses allowed to be everyday people and tell everyday stories. Before I get into that, so it was directed by Eugene Ash. The screenplay who also did the screenplay. It stars Tessa Thompson, who was in Creed, Ragnarok. It also stars Nnamdi Asomugha, who was an All-Pro NFL defensive back, or an NFL All-Pro defensive back and played 11 years in the NFL after coming in from Cal. It also has Lance Reddick from The Wire and Lieutenant Daniels on The Wire, as well as one of my other favorite series, Bosch. Damn near plays the same guy on Bosch. He was also on Oz. Another guy that's in here is Tone Bell and then Eva Longoria. Tone Bell is a comedian who's done some acting as well. So that's the cast. So I guess my interest in this movie or some things that really stood out to me. Sometimes I wonder, as a culture, as a black community, are we fostering the chance? Because it's a lot of sitting back and seeing the clash between black men and black women right now is often disheartening. I don't know what's really going on right now and what's been going on. But are we fostering a chance for young black girls to grow up and become young ladies and young women? I know we got right now with Meg Thee Stallion and the Cardi B's of the world. Well, she's like Belazian. She's from Belize. However, Belizean. This independent thing, I see feminism thrown all over the place. I don't know. Like I said, have we as brothers conditioned black women to be bitches and hoes and to be out in the front trying to be this I don't know, boss bitch or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Another question. And I'm going to be honest, where I was with black women as a single man, back in 1999, 1998, when I was a single man in the dating game, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of my options in terms of meeting and dating black women. And I wasn't always in some of the best places, I'll be honest. But it was difficult to go on a decent date and to have a good conversation and to meet someone where I thought, there could be a future. And then also, we complain about how we complain a lot about how others represent us, how we're being presented. Right now, you see a lot of black gay men out in the front. We see a lot of commercials right now with interracial families or interracial couples. I hear a lot of brothers, they got this gay dude, they got this gay dude. I hear it, I see it and I hear it. But then when we do something presenting us in a great light, we don't keep the same energy. That's why I'm trying to draw attention to SYLVIE'S Love, because I think it's well done. It might be too soft for a lot of you brothers. Maybe. So so that's 2 or 3 things that came to my mind. I'll go into that more on It's Always Personal at some point. But SYLVIE'S Love, it's based in it starts out in 1962, and it involves a young man and woman, Robert, played by Asomugha, and Sylvie, played by Thompson. And it's a love story that spans, several years. And like I said, it ain't all clean and, completely make-believe. There's some drama in here for the people that want drama and want messiness. But Robert is a musician, a talented musician. I believe a trumpeter, not today's trumpeter, an old trumpeter, trumpet player. He's from Detroit, it happens to be in Harlem, trying to do his thing as a jazz artist, part of a band that's led by Tone Bell's character, who's not as talented as Robert. In order to make some extra money, Robert takes a job at a Harlem record store. Once he goes into the store, I think he was out shopping for music, honestly, and then saw the Help Wanted sign at Lance Reddick's music shop. But he looks in the window and sees a pretty young woman in Tessa Thompson. That's Lance Reddick's daughter. And then he goes to apply for the job. And as he's working alongside Sylvie, sparks happen. He learns that Sylvie, though, is very interested. She's very passionate about television, TV shows. A romance blooms. But the thing is, Tessa Thompson is engaged to another brother who is away during the war or something. That's why I said it is some messiness here. But Robert is enchanted by her, and he forces the issue. She sees him play his instrument, and sees his talent, and they start dating and whatnot. And then at the same time, things start picking up in Robert's career. The band gets an offer to go play in Paris, for an extended period of time, and the tour in Paris with this new manager that they had. And so he has to leave. He asks Sylvie to come with him. I don't know how that was going to happen. But anyway, before he leaves, she finds out she's pregnant. Robert was also her first. She does not tell him before he leaves about her being pregnant. She doesn't go with him to Paris. So then the story jumps 5 years later. Robert and Sylvie actually encountered each other at some movie theater or whatever, some show in New York again, and part two of the romance ensues. Only thing is, Sylvie is now married to the guy she was engaged with previously. At the same time, another interesting aspect of the movie here that we get to see is that Sylvie is starting her career. She's gone from loving television to she goes and gets a job as an assistant to a producer of a cooking show. And she's good at it. And her passion, allows her to be successful in this role. So she starts picking up new duties at work. Her husband is like is into finance or something. And for those of you looking for racism and everything, he actually closes a very big account or gets a big client who comes to them because they had an issue with the NAACP. So they go and get a black firm and give them, let them handle a lot of money as a PR move. And Sylvie sees this. But anyway, things start happening at home with Sylvie and her husband because, of course, in those times, he wants her to be a housewife, not some TV executive or whatever, some big deal in the TV world. We find out that the husband always knew about Robert, and he always knew that he comes second to Robert in terms of her love. She really loved Robert. And now with Robert being back in New York, things are happening. And so she keeps it a buck with him. After Lance Reddick passes away, she says, you know what? And that was another interesting thing that I really love about this. They have this quote in there that Robert says very early on in the movie. He says that life's too short to be doing things that you absolutely don't love for more than a second. Something, I'm paraphrasing that a little bit. And that's what drives her to make her decision towards the end of the movie. She's like, look, we've tried to make this thing work, but we're different people. I love that you've been who you were and all of that. But I got to go and be what I got to be. I'm not trying to be home cooking your dinner. So it's interesting that back in 1962, we have this career-minded woman who makes this decision to go be a single-parent mom and make all of this work. Anyway, when she leaves her husband, before the father had passed away, he liked Robert because he was a former music player himself as a younger man before he had the record shop. He called before he passes away. He's like, damn, you never told this man about his child. He calls and tells Robert, Michelle, I think is the child's name. Michelle is yours. So then Robert goes and, they had been getting it in here and there, on the side. And then he goes and tells her, well, why didn't you ever tell me? And then they decide to give them a legit shot. And he's in between things with what he's gonna do in his career and whatnot. But he's a known, he's a renowned musician and whatnot. And so they give it a shot. Well, of course, we get a little bit of Disappearing Acts with Franklin Swift and what was her name? Zora. I think Z at least, with Wesley Snipes and Sanaa Lathan. So just as he goes and agrees to be this family man and be a father and a husband, the music game changes on him, and now jazz is no longer in, and nobody wants to allow him to record music. Like he's no longer popping. Well, as we see in many times, like I said, with disappearing acts, if I can't be successful as what I want to be in a musician, that's all I know. If I can't be that, then I can't be involved. I can't be in this marriage or this relationship. I can't be this home person. That I don't do that. So he goes and blows up his relationship with the love of his life and his child, who he was so he was so happy to find out that he was the father of a little girl. But because he can't provide for them the way that he would like to, he blows up the relationship. He goes back to Detroit, and it was a really dope conversation the way that Sylvie and Robert have this discussion when they break up. It's a great scene, really. It's really well written and well acted scene. He goes home. He tells her, I'm going back to Detroit to regroup and figure this out. She's like, well, I'm gonna stay, and I'm doing my thing at the TV at the network. Peace. It fast forwards again. Things aren't really happening for Robert. He finds himself back in an assembly line. Big in Detroit. GM or Ford or something. So obviously, he's doing something that he doesn't absolutely love, but that's the reality of life. At the same time, Sylvie goes and reunites with a girlfriend who was there when Robert and her first met. And the girlfriend says she's doing something with the NAACP, voter registration, social, all of these things are there for those that need that. And she has a discussion with her girlfriend, and you know what? She makes up her mind that, I'm willing to do whatever to make it work with this man that I love and the father of my child. So she drives to Detroit, and my man is getting off work. I hate that I'm even spoiling this. So maybe I won't even... You check out the ending yourself. But like I said, man, I thought it was well done. I enjoyed watching it with my wife. I thought the screenplay was excellent. I thought I really dug the project. It's right now it has a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb.com. I think that's BS. It's sitting at 83% on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes from the audience score, and for the critic score, it has a 93%. I would say about 90. In the middle of that, 90 is pretty fair. It's a really dope movie, man. I hope you check it out. Again, I went too long, but there's a lot of things at play here. Lastly, there was some issues with the father was a big supporter of an understanding of Sylvie, but Sylvie's mother, had all of these well-to-do expectations of her daughter and didn't approve of what she was seeing happening between Robert and Sylvie as their love was budding. And she's like, you can't possibly throw away what you have with this guy who's gonna come home for this musician. We've been building you up to have this great life. Don't mess it up. But we see what happens. But anyway, check it out, man. I think it's an excellent movie. I'm gonna probably watch it again. I thought it was, and I was happy, to see the ads for it on TV. For Amazon a couple days before Christmas, or even during Christmas when football was on. With him being a former football player, it was ads out there for it. So check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Again, my name is Wood. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Also, way more to talk about with Nnamdi Asomugha and what he's doing versus just talking about what to do and what we need to do. The dude is doing some big things. I'm out. Peace.